Do you read me over?
Be advised, you are coming in weak and unreadable.
Say again, Comp Tower. This is Pacho. Do you read me over?
Pacho, this is Com Tower. I read you Lima Charlie.
Comp Tower, Comp Tower. Request permission to launch and commence the field op. Over.
Stand by. Pacho, permission granted. I say again, permission granted.
Roger that. Launching podcast in 3, 2. You are now entering the field op with your host, Pacho Correa, Chief Warrant Officer 3, United States Marine Corps retired. Get some. Hurrah! Hurrah! Get some. Welcome back, baby Friday Night's Eve. Shit, it's almost the weekend. You know what I'm saying? Man, have I got a really good show for you today. Please, if you want to throw comments, interact, we can talk a little bit of shit today. But before I get to it, let me get all the pleasantries. Hey, look, what if you were to ask yourself financially, how healthy are you? What would be your answer? Would it be, hey, I'm kind of in the from 1 to 10. I'm kind of in the middle. I'm okay. Well, are you on target to retire? Or better yet, those of us who retire from the service, if you were to multiply and on average for all the time that you worked, right? And then just do an average number multiplied by all the years that you worked, including the Marine Corps or the service. And that's going to give you a number of, on average, how much money has gone through your hands and through your account. How much of that, how much percentage of that do you have as for retirement? Not counting what you're getting in from the VA and everything, because all, those monies, they stop unless you take the annuity of survivor benefit plan. The point is, folks, is that you want to see where you're at, and if you have, because most Americans on average have less than $7,000 in the bank account right now. They live paycheck to paycheck. Even the people that you think that have a lot of money. Anyways, what I'm trying to get at, folks, is that if you want to just take a look at where you're at, where you stand financially, and if you're on track, hey, the conversation is free. I won't charge you anything. I'm that guy that you want to call. Hey, I know a guy. We can have that conversation, and if I can help you make it better, right there, you don't have to buy anything or anything of the sort. Hit me up. I'll help you out. And if I can make it better, and and I can, then we can talk. Those things, other things. All right. Also, the other thing is, when was the last time you took it? Where you at on your VA claims and benefits? Have you looked into all the benefits? Have you done research? Are you fully participating and getting all the benefits that you could get from the VA? That's also where I come in. I can have a conversation just like I had with a lot of you. I'm getting ready to have two right after this show. I can help you maximize your claims and benefits. No promises. I'm not a VSO. I never claim to be. I'm just an advocate. That is it. So I can guide you. I can show you, and I can teach you. And if you want a second opinion, I highly recommend going to those folks that are trained for that stuff. Anyways, so because at the end of the day, look, you want to get on the VA claims portal, and you want to put something in there. You're doing yourself an injustice. Don't wait 30 years. I post a lot of this on social media. So anyways, that's all about that. If you want to get into podcasting, you want to get, put your story out there. Let the folks at Stitch Radio know. Brian Coburn, he's not only a huge advocate, he's also a friend. He is also a mentor, and he can definitely help you put your story out there so that you can tell it and grow in the podcasting industry. All right. Hey, look, listen, this show is all about the right to bear arms, helping people, the Constitution, freedom of speech, all the great things that the Constitution brings you. I mean, a lot of us, basically, we saw our right hand to protect and defend the Constitution. So, whether you like the show or not, that's okay. You can swipe left. And again, check out some of the shows at sageradio.com. All right. So that's what pretty much all the pleasantries out of the show. I just want to take a huge shout out to everybody who's watching the show right now via LinkedIn, Facebook, as well as YouTube. I was having some issues with Instagram. I'll get that back up and running here next week, and also we can make it happen on Substack. Anyways, I want to talk to you about something, and I did a TikTok on it last night. Look, a lot of us serve, a lot of race. The recruiting office. Let me just premise the show. The recruiting office was available to all of us, and it's still right there. There's a couple of them right here by my house, right? So, last night I went out to a bar, and I came in. Not sure how I got into the conversation with the bartender, and I was like, I don't drink. However, a Coke Zero with a good cigar, man, that goes down pretty nice, right? So I forget how I told a young lady, and yeah, I was in the Marine Corps, and said, "Oh, really?" And I showed her my tattoo, to which she gave it a kiss. I don't know why, and then she said, "Thank you for your service." Anyways, she said, "Hey, this cigar is really good. It's kind of, you don't have to be. It's not one of the big ones. Just kind of something that if it'll help you out in the sense that you don't have to be on it too long." It's like, great. And she goes, "Oh, by the way, this guy right here is also a Marine." So she introduced me to this gentleman who claims, or let me just say, he said, "Hey," and I shook his hand, "Hoorah, Semper Fi," and we just got to talking, right? So, first question was like, "Hey, listen, let me ask you something. Where'd you go to boot camp?" And I went to Parris Island. I'm like, "Oh, nice. Okay, what battalion?" And what the usual things that we do, right? Kind of like, "Hey, who's your drill instructor?" Couldn't even think of it. Couldn't even just give me the whole, "Hey, what platoon were you? What what battalion?" He was like, "Oh, it was," and he was hoping, I could tell that he was hoping that I would, give him. I was like, first, second, "Oh man, I've been drinking since 4 o'clock." I'm like, okay, that um, that kind of checks out, right? And I was like, "Well, do you remember, your drill instructor?" Again, I already asked that. Oh, and then he goes, "Yeah, after boot camp, I just went to Guam. I served in Guam, and I was an MP in infantry." I'm like, and then he goes, "Yeah, right after boot camp, I was shipped out to Kuwait." And I'm like, "Huh, really?" I'm like, "Okay." And I'm like, "Hey, what'd you get out of this?" "I was an E8, and I fucked up on that one because I'm like, oh, so you were you were master guns. I mean, you were master." And he goes, yes, I was." I was like, so I kind of teed him off, and I kind of gave him a softball on that. I'm just looking at my notes because it's just the story was so good. So what do people? The question is, why do people feel like they need to pretend that they serve? Why don't they just think? Like, do they think that we're not gonna fucking catch it, right? And so, and I don't care what. Well, if you're in another branch, and or you served in another branch, uh, please throw it right here on the show. Let me know, because Marines, we are very particular how we when we meet each other and how we interact with one another, right? So it's kind of like we're not administering a background check, but we are. You know what I'm saying? So we ask, "Hey, would you go to boot camp?" "Oh yeah, what was your MOS? Did you go to, what was your school?" Obviously, for pretty much almost all the logistics, with the exception of transportation, if you drove trucks, that's in Fort Leonard Wood, which used to be in Camp Lejeune. Um, Anyways, you kind of like, and but to forget your own your what battalion you went through, first, second, or third, and maybe he's listening to my fucking show right now. I don't know, but what battalion you went through, who were your drill instructors, what was your platoon. Fuck, I even remember my recruit number. It was Number 13, I still have my leather black shoes that, and because I wore, that's all I wore coral frames after, so many years. But I went back to my, when I, oh, right before, was it right before I went to recruiting? Anyways, I started wearing those during my first enlistment, spit shining the shit out of them. To this day, I still have those shoes, and they still have my recruit number on it. So the point being is that you can't forget those dates. You know what I'm saying? You can't. I mean, they're core memories. I mean, I remember my staff sergeant Happy, Sergeant Rapar, Sergeant Solano, who, by the way, I'm still, we still talk, we still chat. So, I mean, how can you fucking forget that, bro? So, I mean, fuck, you can't even remember what building. Shit, I remember the squad bay. What floor was I on? I mean, it was right next to the chow hall. I mean, again, I was just asking questions. So, again, we all have our own language in the service. We know, we ask a certain particular questions. So how can you not fucking know that, right? So, and especially when you lived it, you know what I'm saying? So there was another time, because I'm going to get back to, well, let me finish the story on this fucking idiot. So, I keep going, and I was just getting my pissed off level. It was a small bar. I was kind of assessing the situation, like, if I kick this motherfucker's ass, how can I minimize it without breaking shit? And that's not going to cost, it's not going to hit me too deep in the fucking pocket, right? But I was also watching because, he even said, "Oh, you trying to catch me on a lie?" I'm like, "Yep, straight up I am." I'm like, "You sure you don't remember, what battalion?" And he was like, "Oh," and then he said second. I'm like, "Oh, okay. What platoon?" I mean, give me something, right? Nope. It was just like, and then he changed the conversation. He then went to say that, again, he missed boot camp. Somehow he missed MOS school or infantry school if you went to SOI, right? And from boot camp I went to Kuwait. I'm like, really? So you didn't go to MOS school? You just bypassed all? He goes, yeah, I did. Just because we were there. I'm like, really? What year? And he goes, I was there in 96. I'm like, oh, no kidding. So was I. We were doing retrograde coming back when Saddam Hussein put his fucking troops back on the border. A contingency force was sent out to Kuwait, which I was fucking part of. Nope, man. Just the dude had fucking amnesia. What was the other things that he said that just kind of struck me? And I was just like, so tell me some more. Where did you serve? Oh, I was again. I'm like, oh, okay. What base? I was just trying nothing. And I was just like, man, what really chaps my ass is that, a lot of these people just, I mean, it's like, fuck, if you didn't serve, you didn't serve, man. But the whole thing just didn't add up. When I leaned into it, and I was just pretty much tired, and I leaned into him like, and I shook his hand. I said, somebody, other Marines aren't going to be as nice as I am, but I would highly recommend you stop fucking being something that you're not, because your story is really questionable. Because, well, your story is questionable. I'm like, how is that even so? I know what platoon. I'm like, I should have just pulled out my card and just showed him, like, this is what I have. Show me yours, or show me your VA card. I mean, what Marine wouldn't, because if I'm going to shut somebody up, I would have just taken out my ID. Hey, look, here's my fucking proof. I'm like, okay, roger that, right? The other time, and again, this happened last night. The other time, not that long ago, I was doing my PT session with my service dog. I see a guy, because golf carts are it's like a fucking thing here in South Florida. It's really, really annoying, particularly if you're the closer you get to the water. Anyways, just like I have an issue with people riding fucking scooters around here. Anyways, I see a Marine. He looks at me. I was wearing my boonie cover, my Desert Digi cover, and I looked at him and I immediately saw, boom, Eagle Globe and Anchor. I'm like, oh, one of mine. walked towards him, shook his hand. He squeezed it. Hey, sir, how you doing? I'm like, hey, man. All right, see, there you go, Keith. What's going on, brother? See, look, you right there coming in clutch. Sergeant Tobias, MCRD San Diego. You know, how can you fucking not? How can you forget that? You know what I'm saying? So this guy, I walk up to him and he's like, "Hey, sir," he's like, "Sir, thank you for your son." I'm like, "Hey, thank you for yours." I'm like, "Man, hey, where were you stationed at?" "Oh, I was in Camp Pendleton." I'm like, "Oh, where'd you go to boot camp?" "I didn't go to boot camp." I'm like, record. I'm like, "What?" Because yeah, I was stationed in Camp Pendleton. We're part of the special ops, whatever. And I'm like, wait a minute, you didn't go to boot camp, right? And you retired as a major. First of all, a fucking major wouldn't be serving me, right? Because he's retired, whatever. Maybe he'll do it the first time, whatever. But after we start talking, he'll just be like, "Hey, we're boys. We wore the same boots. Oh yeah, tell me about this unit." He goes, "Yeah, I was in Camp Pendleton." I'm like, "Okay, what fucking unit?" Because I was stationed there pretty much aside from deploying and going to Okinawa and everything else, pretty much my entire career was all over Camp Pendleton. So I was like, okay, what fucking unit? I was really great. I'm like, what MOS? I'm like, oh, I can't really say. Anyways, this dude a fucking major, right? And I was just like, I'm like, oh, okay, bro. I'm like, you're one of them cats. And I just walked away. On my way back, I stopped by the mechanic shop because I pass it every day pretty much. And I talked to the guy's name is Miguel. I'm like, "Miguel, who was that fucking guy that was here?" "Oh yeah, he says he was I'm like, "No, he wasn't in the fucking military." "Did you give him a discount?" He goes, "Yeah, I did." I'm like, "Fuck." I'm like, "Bro, that guy is a fucking liar. He's not a Marine, first of all." He said, "Really?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, I know." Just the whole conversation, the guy is a bag of ass. He's just a complete shit show. So again, hey, look, if you're gonna fake being in the service, maybe you should watch this show and take some fucking pointers, you bunch of retards out there. And if you're gonna wear the medals, wear them correctly and do some research. I mean, fuck, ChatGPT can help you out. God, good Lord, right? We salute the rank, not the man. Oh man, I got a good story about that one too, Keith. When I was in Iraq, when I took this battalion, I went with 4th LER Battalion, a bunch of reservists, good dudes. But the whole point is that it doesn't make. Apparently, his Marine Corps, this guy Marine Corps career was just, non fucking. Hey, I'm special like that. Again, the only people that I know of, and somebody over here, correct me if I'm wrong, is that I think they do go to boot camp. They do go to boot camp or something like that. No, maybe not. It's the folks on the president's own band, because those guys and gals are specifically brought in because of the music skills, and that's all they fucking do. So if somebody knows something about that, please let me know, right? So what is the difference between bullshit and stolen valor? Well, we commonly call pretending to have, when you pretend to be you wear the uniform. There's plenty of memes online. We look at different type of shit. People wearing the messed up medals. So, hey, I'm a master guns officer colonel with a bunch of hash marks. Hash. It's like Sergeant Bilko. If you ever watched that movie with what's the guy with the white hair? Anyways, watch that movie, Sergeant Bilko, right? So, and by the way, it is a federal offense. The stolen valor, it came into play in 2013. It addresses basically fraudulent claims about specified military decorations, medals, when they're made with intent to obtain money, even if you're trying to get, obtain money, property, or another tangible benefit, like you want to get a fucking discount or free drinks, whatever else. So when people lie about serving, lie about their rank, lying about combat, deployments, medals, and basically using those lies for financial intent. I mean, shit. There was a female that was, lying about being a Marine, being in combat, all those things. And she scammed. I forgot where, and you can look it up. I mean, for I think it was over 200 to, I think close to $300,000 just on, on monies that she got by faking being a freaking service member, right? So they're all dishonorable, and basically they're not identical legally. So why the fuck would it's like, I mean, do you is your life that miserable that you have to lie that you served? I mean, why can't you just be content with whatever shit it is that you did? Or maybe, I don't know. Well, fucking, go join. I mean, the army just raised the age bar not that long ago, right? So, I mean, if you want to serve, go do something, right? So, but why pretend? What is somebody? What are you looking for, right? Are you looking for respect? Maybe a little bit of attention or acceptance? I don't fucking know. You know what I'm saying? Maybe a little bit of credibility. I mean, we've all there's a difference between, hey, we all pretended we were cowboys, astronauts, Indians, all that shit when we were playing, when we were kids. You know what I'm saying? I mean, doesn't mean that that's what I'm going to do, or pretend. Again, you could pretend to be a teacher and have legal repercussions about that shit too. I mean, there's a lot of things that you can pretend to be a doctor, and again, people have done all these shit, right? So, what makes it any different pretending to being a service member? And by the way, an actor is a different thing because they have people there as advisors. They have people there who trying to keep it accurate, and also wearing a uniform, pretend to be. So that's why sometimes you'll find discrepancies on uniforms because the actor is playing, but there will be discrepancies. So that way, technically, you're kind of that gray area. You're not really, for stolen valor purposes, right? So, here's the irony of all these things. You don't have to serve for veterans to respect you. Just don't. Or here's my fair one. Oh, I almost joined, and just insert branch name, because I've heard this one too. Man, if that fucking drill instructor would have gotten in my face, I would have kicked his ass. I'm like, okay, right? That's the one. I had recon buddies go to the bar and say that their scuba bubble meant they were space shuttle door gun. Hell yeah! And that's what? That's a pass on that one. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, man, I mean, are you that much of a fucking idiot that you have to pretend to be one of us? You know what I'm saying? So, oh man, it's crazy how the irony of a lot of things, how people just tend to be, pretend something that they're not, man. You don't need it to embellish your service either. Oh, yeah, that's kind of what I kind of went on a tangent there for a second. But when people say I almost joined, I just want to grab their lips and say, shh, shut the fuck up. Or just like this, shh, don't talk anymore. And you know what I'm saying? It's like, dude, who gives a, you didn't join. It's okay. You did all these things, right? So, and it's okay to do, it's okay to do or not do whatever you didn't do, right? So, here's the other version of stolen valor. So, people who, oh fuck, there was a sergeant major that just got fried because he lied about his ribbons and medals that he had. He also lied that he had a PhD. There was another thing that he lied for, a Marine Corps sergeant major. Yes, there's people fuck up in the Marine Corps too, of advanced rank. Yeah, this cat, nope, for years. And I think somebody was, I think this is how he was caught. He was, when you walk by the command office and you see all the idiots on the wall, fucking looking like Napoleon Bonaparte and shit, like, and then the president is up there, all that good stuff. Well, somebody started like, and then they recognized him, like, hey, this motherfucker didn't go. And that's when they started digging, and that's how people. Anyways, that sergeant major was busted down, I think, to the rank. I think it was even sergeant or maybe even lance corp, something like that. And basically, dude, you just wasted. I mean, like let's not even say 20 years. Let's say you were right. You just wasted like 10 plus years, your retirement, your VA claims and benefits, all kinds of shit. It's like you just why, bro, for over a fucking life, just so you can, make your wang, your dick that much bigger, dude. Are you fucking stupid? So, so deployments again, their rank, your responsibilities. I mean, dude, you served for 4 years, you did your job, you got out, fucking great, So you don't have to be a raider, a fucking door gunner on the space shuttle. You know what I'm saying? You already earned the title, so quit bullshitting about it. And that goes for any service, because I've served. I love all my sister armed services. I mean, yes, by the way, I love my Navy folks because we are a department of the fucking Navy, whether we like it or not. I love my Army cats. I love my coasties. I love, the National Guard, the reservists. I mean, hey, much love to you all, man, because at the end of the day, we're badass motherfuckers because nobody else in this entire great nation of ours population raise the right hand that, hey, if whatever shit goes down, in-house or external, I'm right there. You know what I'm saying? So why the fuck, you're going to bullshit about it? So stop actually stealing shit, man. Don't be a little bitch. I know I'm cussing a lot this show, but it really chaps my ass, when people do that, because especially, I mean, hey, man, at least do your research. So anyways, I know this is not the first time nor the last time, and I'm going to be out here keeping the good fight. By the way, before I'm going to start wrapping up right here. Hey, by the way, Keith Barton is a huge supporter of this show. My man is running for Congress. He's going to go in there for Texas. He's going to go in there and unfuck what's fucked up already. Not only, he's going to do his best, but also with the VA. I mean, he shares some amazing shit. So please, please, please go and support Keith. Go to your polls. I mean, let's spread the word on my man right here. By the way, he's an author, has some really cool fucking books. I mean, this dude I'm going to bring him back, by the way. And I love the fact that he's being commented on here. Let me read this right here. So, but Lazarus in the fleet, east there in the campaign. Yep. All I can find was yeah. I mean, yeah, you'll find him. And then there's that guy also on TikTok who, I think his name is Tom or something like that. He calls people and calls them out about being Navy SEALs. I mean, that dude is intense. You can look him up on TikTok. You can find him on Instagram and Facebook. I love when I watch this shit. I mean, he's grilling them over the phone. He's even caught people who are in politics and everything. So, anyways, so just to wrap up, everybody, once a Marine, always a Marine, right? We have all these core memories. Once a soldier, always a soldier. It doesn't really matter what branch you serve, man. We're all proud of what we did. We gave our body, mind, soul, and spirit to that mean green machine of ours. And whether you had a good time or a bad time, it doesn't really matter. I mean, it stays with us. So you don't have to be a Marine for me to respect you. To be quite honest, you don't have to be a veteran. You don't have to have deployed or seen combat, because there's some of you out there that just because you didn't deploy, you feel all ashamed about it. Just be whoever the hell you are, man. Because the moment you claim the title you didn't earn, you're taking something from those of us who did and those of us who gave their lives and never made it home. Think about that for a second. Hey, have you ever encountered anybody pretend to be something that they're not, or somebody whose military stories didn't add up? What gave them away? Feel free to throw them on the comments on the show, and obviously I'll respond back. But hey, just to close up, if you've been struggling with the crappy thoughts that you just you kind of go into that rabbit hole, you can't seem to dig yourself out. Hey, reach out to the show, reach out to me, reach out to Military Once or TRICARE, the VA suicide hotline. I mean, there's all kinds of resources. Just reach out to a buddy and just have a conversation. Let them talk you off the ledge, because nobody here wants to, give a eulogy and wonder what is it that we could have done to make shit better for you, man. So, anyways, with that being said, I think this is a good time to end this. So I just want to say, hey, Aistamas, Daisuki, Index. I'll see you next week. Ara, get some yuts.